Myself Dr. Lavingwar Kagi, and today I am going to discuss with you the assignment which was given to the section M1702 group 1. And very first question put over there is, what is EOQ? Drive the expression for EOQ model when shortages are allowed. Also, according to you, which selective inventory control technique is most appropriate to be applied for inventory control? State reasons to support your answer. Okay, let's start with the very first part. That is, what is EOQ? And for this EOQ, we all know that EOQ is basically the full form for this is economic order quantity. It is basically the how much quantity we are going to put in an order. That means in one order how much number of units we are going to put, so that the total cost of the inventory is low. That means uh, when I see that total cost of the inventory is low, that means holding cost, ordering cost, all the costs which is linked with the this inventory cost over there. So with this graph we can say that when we have uh, the total number of units is optimum value over there. You can see from there uh, just hold. Now you can see over here, that is the for this point the total cost of the inventory is going to be minimum value over there, and this minimum value is achieved when you are going to put the number of units in an order to be an optimum value. So this is basically the economic order quantity, and along with this you can say it is a valuable tool for business owners who need to make decision about, that's very important, how much inventory we have to keep in hand and how many items to order. That means how many items to order, this is over here, and how much inventory, that means from again this is how much inventory we are going to keep in hand, and how often to reorder. Now that means we have to also see that how many orders in an year we are going to put, so that your cost will become the lowest possible cost, you can say, you are going to achieve over there. This is basically the EOQ. Next I'm going to discuss with you the drive the expression for EOQ model when shortages are allowed over there. Now for this there is a y-axis. On this we put the quantity, and x-axis, as you all know, the time axis is there, and all the notations I have explained over there. Q is the economic order quantity, S is the maximum shortage over there, and CO means cost of ordering, CC means the annual carrying cost, CS shortage cost of 1 unit per year. This is important over there, 1 unit per year over there. T1 is the stock renewal time for zero inventory. That means over here the inventory is zero, that means you need to renew the stock. T2 is the backlog time, or sometimes we call it as a shortage over there, for the time period for which the shortage is there. Then we have D is the annual demand. So over there from E to this point it is Q over there. This is Q, and this is Q over there. This is S over there. That means the rest of the quantity is Q minus S, and I put Q minus S is I suffix M over there, only just the notation over there. So over here Q minus S is the inventory remaining after the backlog is satisfied over there. Now first we see over there, from this we can say that, as we all know, the rate of consumption is this axis, this slope is defined the rate of consumption over there. That means this much quantity is going to consume after this much amount of the time over there. And this thing I have already been discussed with you in the previous lecture over there. In this class I have discussed with you over there. You can see the consumption rate is generally is basically the quantity upon t over there, and t is basically the number of days over there. How many number of days or in a year we can consume the total quantity q over there. It is based upon the CR, and from here we can find the t value. T is the cycle time, and cycle time means first order you give and then you give the second order. That means between these two orders, time we depict is cycle time over there, and cycle time is given as q is the optimum number of units you are going to put and divide with the total number total annual demand of the units per year. This is the cycle time over there. This thing we need over here. Okay, now we can see, so for this point, up to this point it goes, your consumption is going on and you have inventory in hand. But after that, after this period, there is a no quantity in hand over there, no number of units in hand is zero over there. That means you are in short of the units over there. So for this, suppose you take the this uh, suppose for this over there, for this part, that is CE part over there. Suppose you are going to receive the orders over there. Suppose you say that after 2 days or 3 days you are going to provide you the particular unit with the quantity over there. That means you are going to take the orders in advance over there, or you can say during the shortage of the products or the number of units you have. That means you take the order, and this order is generally called back orders over there. So the back orders you are going to get over there. So next, after that, at the point E, you are going to get the inventory order received over there, and how much order you are going to, number of units you are going to get over there. Here is the maximum value of Q. This is the optimum value of the units now you receive. So first, from E to D, for this section, this number of units you are going to give the customers, and you are not going to keep these units into the store over there. That means you are not going to hold this part. So the holding number of units is only these number of units you are going to keep in the inventory over there. So these are not included in the inventory, only this part is going to include in the inventory over there. For this we need to, now for this over there, number of orders per year, we know this thing. It is the demand, and this is the how much quantity you are going to put in an order. Suppose there is a number of is units, demand is 100 over there, and you are going to put over there. That means in one order you put 10 units. That means total demand is 100. In one order you put 10. That means how many orders you give? That means 10 orders you have to give, so that you get the 100 units over there, because you have the total number of annual demand is there. So this is the number of orders you are going to give, and from this we can also find the time for the one order. That means if I need to calculate how much time I need over there, that means first order I give from here and second order I give at this point over there. That means for this I need the total number of days or the month over there. So we can calculate this is Q by D. That means Q is 10 and this is by 100 over there. 100 over there. That means it is comes out to be 1 by 10. 1 by 10 over there. That means 1 by 10, it may be a days, it may be a years over there. If it is a year, that means we are going to multiply this with the 365. That means now you get this thing in days. That means it becomes 36.5. So after 36.5 days, you are going to put the order, first order over here, and after 36.5 days, you put the second order over there. So this is how the story is. So this is the time for one order, that is the cycle time over there. But in this case, in the shortage case over there, we know that T1, for the time T1 we have the inventory, but for the time T2 we do not have the inventory over there, because this is the shortage time period over there. So but when we put the order at this point and receive the order at this point, that means total cycle time is equal to T1 plus T2 over there. So over there I mentioned T1 plus T2. And to solve this we need two triangles. And triangle, first we take the triangle ABC triangle, and second triangle we take the C, this triangle, and this triangle we take these two triangles, CDE triangle. And from these two triangles we can easily mention this thing, that is the T1 upon Q minus S. This is the base, this perpendicular distance AB is nothing but Q minus S is equal to T2. This is T2 again, it is the base, and this is distance, perpendicular distance, we know this is S over there, and T2 by SO. Okay, and this triangle T1 plus T2, this triangle is A, E, or any notation you give. A, suppose we put A dash over there. So A dash, E, and A dash is what? This is nothing but T1 plus T2. This is T1 plus T2. This is T1 plus T2. Again, this is the base. This is perpendicular distance, and all these triangles are similar triangles. This and small triangle over here. It is similar triangles. So T1 plus T2 upon Q over there. From here we can easily mention that T1 plus T2 we know, Q upon D over there. So we can write all these things, T1 upon Q minus S, T2 by S is equal to T1 plus T2 by Q is equal to 1 over D. This thing we can write easily from these equations. Now as we know, we want the total cost over there. What will be the total cost in this case when the shortages are allowed? So we need the first we need the ordering cost, we need the holding cost, and at the last we need the shortage cost also in this case, because shortages are allowed. So first we are going to check what is the ordering cost. We are going to see, and ordering cost we already know that number of orders you placed per year and how much ordering cost per order over there. एक ऑर्डर करने में क्या खर्चा है और टोटल नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स आप एक साथ में कितने कर रहे हैं. This is basically the ordering cost over there. And number of order placed, we already know that this is the demand and this is the number of units per order, and C0 is the ordering cost per order. This is the C0 over there. So this is basically the ordering cost. And holding cost or carrying cost per year, we can easily write average. This we already know, this is the average number of units in the inventory into the time period of the inventory and carrying cost per unit. So with this formula we already know, and when we solve this thing over there, it is T1 plus T2 over here. So for this average units in the inventory, as I've already told you that we have the inventory only for the time period T1. For T2 you don't have the inventory over there, and furthermore whenever you get the order, you are going to give this much number of units only to the already you are just complete the back orders over there. So you are not going to keep this number of units into the inventory. So you have going to hold the number of units in the inventory only Q minus S, which is IM. So I put this IM over there, and we know this. We already know this thing that there is an average number of units in the inventory, that is IM by 2, and time period for of the inventory we know that total time period is T1 plus T2, and proportionality we know that for the time T1 from the cycle T1 plus T2, only for this time we are going to hold the inventory, that means T1 upon T1 plus T2 into CC. This is the carrying cost per unit over there. So this becomes, now we put the value of IM in forms of this Q minus S by 2 into T1 upon T1 plus T2 into CC. Okay, this over there. Okay. Now next we are going to find the this carrying cost over there. We already put the values over there. Okay. Now from there, this I'll show you. Again, we go to the little bit back over there. Now you all the things you over there in terms of T1 upon T1 plus T2, and from this relation we can easily find the relation between T1 upon T2. You can see if you take all this term to this side and Q minus S to this side, that means it is nothing but T1 upon T1 plus T2. So we can write over here, we can write Q minus S upon Q over there. So we can replace this T1 upon T1 plus T2 in terms of this value. Okay, so we get the equation in this form. So Q minus S becomes the square, and it becomes 2Q over there. Okay, this becomes this, and CC as it is, carrying cost per unit over there. Next we are going to see the shortage cost. Shortage cost is basically the, again it is the average number of units short into the time period of the shortage cost per unit per time period over there. Okay. So over there we can see the formula becomes average number of units short is S by 2, and the time period, as we already know that per time period it is already, you can see over there T2 upon T1 plus T2, that is the, again for the time T2 from this cycle, T1 plus T2 is a cycle, and from this cycle for the time period T2 there is a shortage over there, and multiply with the shortage cost. This is the shortage cost per unit per time period. So from here again T2 over T1 plus T2 we can calculate from here. This is the equation over here. From here we can easily calculate T2 upon T1 plus T2. Okay, and it becomes S upon Q, and this becomes S upon Q over there. So we put the T2 upon T2 over here, it is S upon Q, and you multiply these two things, you get the S square upon 2Q, and you get this equation. And then we are going to see, this is how I'll just show over here how you are going to get this equation, S upon Q over there. Now at the next we are going to find the total inventory cost. This is our objective. We are going to keep our inventory cost minimum, so we are going to add up all the cost, ordering cost, carrying cost, shortage cost over there. Okay. And for this we are going to put all the things over there. So these are the ordering cost, this is the holding cost, this is the shortage cost. And in this case we know that there are two variables are there, that is the one is Q and S variables are there. So we have to solve these two variables with the help of differentiation over there. And first we go do the differentiation with respect to the Q, and next we go do the differentiation with respect to the S over there for this equation over there. Okay, let's start first differentiation with respect to the Q over there. So we when we differentiate the things over there, that means we are going to differentiate dt upon dq. T is the total cost, dq is the number of units you are going to keep in the optimum value. And after this, for this q to be optimum, we equate this thing equal to 0. For this, now we solve, differentiate this thing, and after this differentiation we are going to get the equation in this form over there. And over here, this you can easily solve, and this you can easily solve. Over here, q minus s square upon 2q, this is nothing but u upon v, and over u upon v derivative, we know that this is the formula for the when u is the variable, when v is the variable over there. So we can solve this u upon v in form of this. Same way I put over here, and we get the equation in this form. And after that, this q you take in this side over there. Q square from this is gone, q square from this it is gone, q square from this it is gone. So it is 1 or 1 over here. And after that, you are going to solve this equation. And this equation over here, so this will look like this equation. And after that, all the things to be, let's say, now we take 2 over here, 2 over here, and again multiply this side by 2, multiply this side by 2, multiply this side by 2. You get the equation in this form over there. It is the 2 over here, it is gone, no 2 over here, this 2 is gone over here. So the equation becomes this way. And after that, multiply q with this and q with the s, and open q minus s square bracket, you get this equation. And over here s square, yes, it is remain over there. And after solving this equation, we are going to get the equation in this form. We put in this equation as a number 1 equation. Now in this equation, d is okay, c0 you know, q we need to find, cc it is given, s square is again variable, cc it is generally we know that it is the carrying cost, and it is given in the numerical value, and ch it is also be given value. So only this q and s is unknown quantities over there. So we are now solve this value in terms of s, and s is another variable. So for to solve the s value, how many units are there in the shortage over there? So we again put derivative of dt by ds over there, so that we can find the value of s. Okay, now we have to find the value of s and then put s in this equation, as I've already told you. Now we start solving this. This is the basic equation. We again start with the basic equation, and then we start derivative with respect to s. And for this, there is a no s, and q there is a no s over there. So this is treated as a constant value, and when you do the derivative of the constant, it becomes 0. And so we left with these two equations over there. So these two equations, that means q minus s square upon 2q and s square upon 2q. These are the two equations now I am going to solve. And for this, q becomes the, you can say, because we are going to derivative with respect to s over there, so q and over q is a constant quantity, only variable is s over there. So q minus s square, when we do the derivative, 2 is in front over there, and minus s becomes minus 1. So this is how we solve the differentiation. And s square 2s upon 2q, and after that, after solving this equation, we get the s value. Oh, you see s now in terms of q. This is the equation 2. How you put the equation 2 in equation 1 over there. Now this is the equation 1 we know, this is the equation 2 we know, and over here s you now put. And after we are going to put the s value in this equation 1, we are going to get the value of q. this is the optimum value we are going to get. This is the optimum number of units we are going to order over there. Okay, and in this case you can see 2D C0 CC plus CS upon CC CS. This is the how we solve the equations. And in this equation, one part is simple and other part is the shortages are allowed over there. So we can write this equation in this form also. Q optimum is equal to 2D C0. See, this is we already calculated. This is the basic model of EOQ, and this term is now add due to the shortages over there. And this equation we know that this is the Wilson's EOQ equation over there from the basic model, and this is the your shortages cost over there. So this is how we are going to get the optimum number of units, in this case shortages. And this is how we are going to calculate the maximum inventory, that is the in hand. This is the maximum inventory we are going to keep in hand, that is the Q minus S. And this is how now you know the Q or you know the S value, you put these two things and you get the maximum inventory you can keep over there. So this is how we can derive the expression of EOQ model when shortages are allowed. So this is the solution for this derivation. Next question I have given to you that according to you, which selective inventory control technique is most appropriate to be applied for inventory control? State reasons to support your answer. Now over there, I already discussed with you that there are the various inventory control techniques over there, and the important ones are ABC, FSN, HML, and VED over there. And in the case of ABC, there is a we are generally classified into the category of A, B, C, and based on the value and the consumption over there. That's the high value over there, but consumption is very less. Here the consumption is and the value is almost similar. Here the consumption is very high, but the value is very less over there. So we generally segregate the number of units based on their value or the importance over there. In the FSN, we generally use the frequency of the uses. Those items which we generally use on the regular basis, we put in the fast over there, and there's a slow. There's the we are not going to use these number of items over there. So the FSN over there. Similarly, based HML is basically based upon the cost per unit. That's the high cost, medium cost, that's the low cost over there. And in the case of VED, it is classified based upon the critical uses of the particular component or the part over there. And it is the vital, there is the essential, there is the desirable over there. Vital means without this you cannot run the machine. Essential means if you don't have the particular component or particular tool, that means you have a very high shortage cost. And in the case of desirable, means that particular component do not affect the machine running and the shortage cost over there. But if you use this tool over there, that means it is going to be helpful for the workers over there. So we are going to differentiate the things based upon this vital, essential, and desirable over there. So this is the basic difference between all these three, and this is the broader difference between all the inventory controls we have studied in the previous lecture over there. So based on this discussion, I have put you over here that this approach means that is the ABC approach. That is the ABC approach helps the manager to exercise selective control and focus his attention only on the few items over there. As we know that we are not going to focus all the items over there, so we generally focus on the 70% of the whose importance is very high over there. And we can say that by exercising strict control on A class items, that means very important items but whose consumption is not so high but it is very important, the material manager is able to show the result within a short period of time. This is the advantage for the ABC approach over there. It results in a reduced clerical cost, save time and efforts, and result in better planning and control and increased inventory turnover. ABC analysis thus tries to focus and direct the effort based on the merit of the items. So this is the part over there. This is how you segregate the things over there based upon the merit, and thus becomes the effective management control tool. This is the effective management control over there. So these are the reasons why we go for the ABC inventory control technique. So this is the reason behind this. And in the question number 2, there is a I have given to you this numerical, and in this numerical there is a Wilson Publishing Company produces books for retail market. Demand of the current book is expected to occur at a constant annual rate. That is, the demand is given, that is, the D is given. The cost of one copy of the book is, this is the cost of the one copy is given. The holding cost is based upon the 18% annual rate over there. This is the CC value is given. And then we see the production setup cost over there, that is the CO value is there. Ordering cost, we can say, and this I have already told you that this is the ordering cost over there. The equipment on which the book is produced has the annual production volume. This is the machine through which you are going to produce this much number of copies, but you need 7200 copies. Machine produces 25,000 copies. Wilson has 250 working days. Now over there it is a 1 year is not 365. 1 year over here is 250 days. If you see over there, then it is given. And the lead time is given. This is the lead time for the production run is 15 days. Use the production lot size model. Now it is given. Production lot size model we are going to use over here. Compute the following: minimum cost, production lot size, number of production runs per year, cycle time, length of the production run, maximum inventory, total annual cost, and reorder point over there. These things we are going to find. First we are going to find the value of Q, and over there minimum cost production lot size. So, and this is the formula for the production model in the EOQ, and in this model Q we know that we can find with the help of this. D is the annual demand, C0 is the ordering cost again, and this is the holding cost, and this is the production over there. So production is as I told you that capacity is 25,000 and demand is 7,200. From there we can easily get the number of quantities in a single order. This is the order number of units in a single order. And next we are going to find the number of production runs, and this is the D upon Q over there. So this much number of runs over there. So this is the 6.68, and 6.68 means this is the basically your number of orders. This means this much number of orders you are going to place. And then we have the cycle time over there. Cycle time, we know that the Q upon D, and but in this case over here this is the number we now find in terms of days, and this if I write T is equal to Q upon D, this is the number of, this is the annual. Okay, and over here now if you calculate the number of days, so this demand is now divided by 250 days, because this demand in a year which contains 250 days over there. So from there you can get the your cycle time. So cycle time becomes 37.43 days. So after this much number of days you are going to place the orders. So first order is placed over here, suppose, that means after this much number of days second order is going to place over there. So with, for the uh, for a year you are going to get how many days you are going to get your order. And then you have the production run length over there. So this is the Q over there, this is the optimum value. You are already get number of units over there, optimum value, and this is the production capacity. And for this much capacity now it's going to run for how many days? 250 days. So you have the total 10.78 days. Within this you are going to get the your production over there, required production over there. That is the maximum inventory. Now we are going to get at the formula 1 minus d upon p into q. This is the formula, we already know this thing, and from this maximum inventory we can get. So this is the maximum inventory you are going to keep over there, and this is the holding cost for this case. And the holding cost formula we already know. This is the formula for the holding cost, and all the values now you know. D you know, p value it is given in the statement, q you have calculated, ch it is given in the numerical, that is the this value it is the given. So over there you can see 18% of the annual over there, annual cost over there. Okay. So this is the value 18% into 14.50 over there. And from there you can get the ordering cost. Okay. And then we can easily calculate the total cost over there. Total cost means this thing, holding cost plus ordering cost. You sum up this, you get the total cost. So this is the total cost of the inventory. And then at the last we have calculated the reorder point. Reorder point is the this thing, that is the lead time over there into the m value. M it is the we have calculated over there. I'll show you over there. This is the lead time for production run, that is the 15 days it is given. Okay. So from here we can know this thing. This is the your demand over there as 7,200 your demand, and here contain days 250 and lead time is 15 days. So from here you can get the R value, that is the 432, that is the reorder point. That means after this much number of units you have in the inventory, you place the order. So this is the reorder point. This is how we can get the values for all the things we have calculated. And next we have see that this numerical, it is basically the Hayes Electronics stock and sell a particular brand of personal computer. It cost the firm $450 each time. It placed an order with the manufacturer for personal computer. This is the ordering cost basically. The cost of carrying one PC, this is the holding cost or the carrying cost is given. And then we can see that the store manager estimate that total annual demand, this is the annual demand, D value is given with the constant demand rate throughout the year. Orders are received within a minute after the placement from the local warehouse maintained by the manufacturer. That means you get instant supply over there. The store policy is never to be stock out, that means no shortages are allowed. The store is open for business every day of the year except Christmas Day. That means how many days in a year? That means it is not 365. It becomes -1. That means it becomes 364 days over there. So we have to keep in mind that in a year, how many days? 364 days are there. So we have to find the things. Optimal order quantity, that means Q we have to find. Minimum total annual inventory cost, TC we are going to find. Optimal number of orders per year, that means how many orders we are going to place, and optimal time between the orders. Okay. That means in this case Q we are going to find, in that case TC we are going to find, and in that case how we find the total number of orders, that means total number of demand upon Q, and the optimal time Q upon D. So this is how we are going to find all the things. Okay. Let's start with the optimal quantity order, and this is the demand, this is the carrying cost, this is the ordering cost it is given, and this is the very simple basic model equation is there. 2C0D ordering cost we know, D is no, CC we know, so we can get the Q value. That means in an order, in a one order, how many computers we are going to put, that is 79.7 personal computers we are going to put over there. And then we have to find the total minimum total inventory cost. This is the formula for the, that is the carrying cost, this is the ordering cost, and these two values we know, and when we solve this equation we get this value, and this is the $13,549.91 is the total cost we have, that is the inventory cost, and it is the minimum inventory cost we can say, because we use the Q optimal value in this case. And the optimal number of orders, how we know this, I have already told you that D upon Q is the number of orders we can calculate demand upon that the optimum number of units. So we can easily get this value, that is that 1200 is the annual demand, and in an order how many units we are going to put, 79.7. so from here how many orders we are going to place in a year, 15.05 orders we are going to put in a year. And then we have to put the optimal time between the orders, that is basically the cycle time. So we know the cycle time Q upon D over there, and now the annual demand is 1200 units per year. So we have to convert this into the days over there, because cycle time in days, because it is mentioned over there days. So we need, that is the 1200 units divided by 365 days. So we put D in terms of this over here, and it becomes the, that is the 1200 units upon 364. And when you solve this thing, that means after this much number of days, that is that 224.18 days you put the order. This one order you put at this point, and then after 24.8 days you put the second order, then after 24.18 days you put the your third order. This is how the cycle time we are generally described over there. So this is how we solve this numerical, third numerical. Then we have the fourth numerical over there. A factory requires 100 units of an item per month, each costing rupees 20. The cost per order is 100, and inventory carrying cost charges works out to be 20% of the inventory cost. This is the important part over there. And find the EOQ and the number of order per year. And then we have to calculate, would you accept the 2% price discount? This numerical is basically deals with this thing, that the price discount is there on minimum supply of quantity 1000 numbers. That means suppose we are going to check what is the value of Q optimum with the standard model, basic model. We find the Q optimum, whatever the quantity we are going to get, then we solve the TC value over there. We solve the TC Q in the case of Q optimum, and then we take the 1000 units in a order, and we calculate the TC value, that is the total cost over there. Then we compare these two total costs, and if this total cost is we get the minimum, that means we are going to accept the discount, that is the 2% discount we are going to accept. And if this value is more, if this value is less than this value, then we are not going to accept this 2% price discount over. This is how we are going to solve this numerical. This is everything I have mentioned over there. This based upon the cycle shop over there. As I've already told you that we are add the product cost also over there, and product cost in this case, how many number of units you are going to purchase and what the cost of one unit. So we are going to get the total cost of the product in a year. So let's start with the simple EOQ model over there. And for this annual demand, we know this is the annual demand, and in this case it is not annual, it is per month demand. So per month demand is given and we convert it into number of years over there. So this is our annual demand, that is the 12,000 units we have the required in a year. And from this we know the purchase cost, it is given over there. This is the cost over there, 20 rupees over there. The cost per order, it is given, C0 it is given, and carrying cost we can easily find over there, that is the 20, and it is a 20% of the inventory cost. So this is the 20% and this is the inventory cost over there. This is the inventory cost over there, that is the 20. Okay. And whenever inventory cost is mentioned over there, that means it is the cost of one product over there. So we have to multiply the percentage with the cost of the unit. So from here we can get the inventory cost, that is the rupees 4 annually per unit. And Q well formula we know, that is the 2C0 D upon CC. C0 is given, D is given. We can say we can easily calculate the Q value. Okay. So from here Q comes out to be 774.6 units. Okay. This is the optimum value of the units to keep the total cost of the inventory minimum. But here one thing is added by the in the question over there, that is the percentage is given, that is the percentage discount is given. So based upon this order Q, we are going to check how many number of orders in a year. It is very easy and simple way, that is the total number of demand we know. Now you know the Q value from here, the total number of orders now we know. Okay. Now this table is, we have calculated all the things previously, and next table we are going to draw the conclusion based upon this thing, 2% price discount over there. Now purchasing cost we have calculated, ordering cost we have calculated, carrying cost and total cost per year. We can add up all the cost, and then we see that this is the 2,43,098 rupees, 98.4 rupees are there. This is the total cost per year. Now we are going to see, this is how all the things I have mentioned over there. This is how I am going to calculate this value. This is 1549.2. This is the carrying cost. This value I have put over here. This value over there. This value over here. Now, next I am going to discuss with you the 2% discount on the 100 units over there. That means if I am going to put the order more than this and keep the number of units in single order 1000, that means single unit, now I am going to get the 2% less. I am going to pay the 2% less over there. And for 2%, how to get this thing? That means when the 2% discount is offered for 1000 units over there, that means price for an item going to be is 19.6 rupees. That means 2% means 2% of, you had 20 rupees, you have to calculate, that means this much amount is now reduced, 20 rupees now is becomes 19.6. That means instead of paying the 20 rupees, now we have to pay 19.6 rupees. That means this is the product cost, or you can say purchasing cost over there. How many number of units we have to, annual demand is this much number of units, 12,000, and for the single unit I have to pay 19.6 rupees. So multiply this thing, this is my purchasing cost annually. So this is my purchasing cost annually over there. And for this, when no discount is there, 12,000 is my annual demand and every unit is rupees 20. So my number of units, 12,000 multiplied 20, you get the, this is 2,40,000 over there, 2,35,200 rupees over there. Next I am going to calculate the ordering cost. Now ordering cost is based on, now instead of using the 774.6, we use the 100 units over there. So based upon this I am calculated the ordering cost, and same based upon the carrying cost. Carrying cost I put over there instead of Q value, this value I used 1000. So 1000 upon 2, this is again the carrying cost over there. And I have used the product cost 19.6 over there. So this is how we calculate the carrying cost. And I have put over there that 1219.60 over there. Then calculate this thing, total cost. In the case of 2% discount, in the case of EOQ value over there, when we are not going to get the discount over there. So from these two values we can easily see that the since the total cost after accepting the 2% discount is less than the total cost at EOQ, therefore discount should be accepted over there, and it is clearly see over there that our value total cost of the inventory is now reduced by taking the discount over there. So it is better to take the discount over there, and this is how we can solve the assignment for the group 1 students over there. Okay, bye bye.